Hello everyone, welcome to a Charles Third World Gaming VOD review. Today we're reviewing a Platinum Cassidy. He's going to be playing on Antarctic Peninsula. And we're going to see what kind of tips or suggestions we can give him. Now this is obviously a newly reworked map. So, it's going to be a little bit, harder to maybe find some angles, you're not used to playing. Your tank's also still in spawn, which is unfortunate. Nice. Very good, very good. I was gonna say, like, going on this angle over here is a good idea. Ooh, that was close, but you did keep enough distance. So, y'all still don't have a tank. So, currently, this is not, like, your fault. I mean, I guess, in this scenario, they have a hog, so he has hooks, so you always want to watch out for that. That's the first worry. But if you can get a pick without getting hooked by the hog, by taking an off angle, like, this isn't bad. I mean, I think you should have just, like, that wasn't a bad idea. Now, it was smart because it's away from the hog, so, like, you don't even have to think about the hook in your brain. Obviously, your tank is not there right now, obviously. So, like, once you dropped here, like, in my opinion, you should have just, like, at this point, you never run away from the enemy with your back turned unless, like, you have no chance at winning this fight. But, like, you had a chance. Like, he was, I mean, if you could have, like, fought him without the turret seeing you, like, right here, and fought him, now, you might still would have died. But, you just kind of gave up. You never want to turn your back to the enemy unless you have absolutely no chance at winning. Because, like, if you could, even if you would have died to someone else, like, if you get this pick here, like, that's huge. You kind of probably got a lucky headshot on you, but that's okay. Alright, you have a hog. This is an interesting... Okay, first thing I'll say right now is, like, currently in Overwatch, your job as a DPS is to create as much pressure as possible and to get eliminations. Currently, you're holding the exact same angle as your Bastion. Now, whether or not this is the Bastion's fault for pulling up to where you are, or your fault for pulling up to where he is, the fact is y'all are holding the same angle, so y'all are creating... Two people are creating the pressure that one person, just that Bastion or just you could. So you need to go find a different angle to hold. So right now, you and your Bastion are just basically doing nothing. This isn't necessarily the angle I would pick, just because the hog's over here. Now, you may not have known that, but at the same time, you know that most of their team is going to be on high ground. And your team probably isn't going to follow you. Cassidy's a player with low mobility. Now, they went to height, so this is good. Okay, we're kind of just walking around. We don't want to waste time as a DPS. We're trying to get as much pressure as the enemy team as possible. Now, what I want to see you do is come down here and, like, let's click some heads. Let's kill somebody. Huge. Your Bastion helped out as well. Good shot, good shot. Okay. Yes, your Mercy wasted her ult. This is great news. Anyway. Okay, if I had to give you a tip right now, it would be to stage on high ground. You can hear the... Here you go. Okay. Alright. There was a wide open kill. And look, you missed your shots. But that's not what I'm gonna... That's not what I'm gonna, like, pick on here. Like, look, right here in this moment, you can't see anyone else that is close to you on the enemy team, like, besides the Wuyong. Just flash, fan, kill him, and get out of there. Just use your abilities and get out. Like, that's a free kill, you'll get a pick. Like, don't be afraid to use your abilities. And always, like, if there's someone who doesn't see you, like, just throw your flashbang and kill them, unless you know you're gonna need it for another person. Once again, you and your Bastion are holding the same angle, but you did just leave another angle, to be fair. Solid aim, solid aim. I don't mind dropping there. That's not bad. This is very aggressive. But your hog's here. Nice, nice. That wasn't like it was. I like that more than sitting wherever the Bastion's sitting. You're playing good this game. I mean, you did say this was, you considered, I think you said you played great. So I wanted to view your good game and not your bad game. Because, you know, typically in your bad games, you kind of know where you mess up. You're creating pressure with that angle. However, that Emre is going to always have the range on you. So, like, you know, it's if you have a support with you, I take that fight. But if you don't want to take that fight because you're not going to win. Unless, of course, you can get a health pack, which... Alright, next thing I want to say. I know this map just got reworked, but good players always play health packs. Good players, you know, they're the one, like, when you're fighting someone 1v1 and then they take the health back and kill you, you're so mad because, you know, you felt like they cheated, but, like, they just had better either map knowledge or they had it more important on their, like, list of things to do in the fight than you did. If you would have grabbed this health pack, like, all would be fine right now, but instead you're 37 HP. And he saw you and you're so lucky you're alive. Nice way to finish the kill. Not the best aim, but why not right there pop your Deadeye? I mean, you have all the, like, now, I see this Lucio's coming from a top rope beat. But, like, right there, I mean, that's a perfect situation to pop Deadeye, because you were at, like, max HP. You had squishies in front of you. I mean, you could always just shoot and cancel it. You have all your abilities. Like, that was a perfect situation to use your ultimate. And now, you hopefully get this, and go to high ground. See, now, okay, well, the Torb's right here, so this is correct. Now, at this point, I would take the time to go back over to high ground, just because you have an ultimate that's very good from that angle. But this is also, like, a completely fine play, because you're off in a corner. Like, I also don't dislike this at all. I mean, you might have gotten hooked by that hog, so that might have been some bad advice on my part. I'm always just looking to take the high ground. But their hog walked... See, but, like, this doesn't make sense, because, like, why would their hog walk the high ground and not touch? Like, normally the hog would never do that, because he wouldn't have time to touch, so that's why I thought it would be safe to go to high ground. But, here, we always do a stat check at halftime. Yeah, I mean, y'all are kind of just dog walking them. Y'all only, like, really were losing when your tank wasn't there. You're not even getting, like, damage boosted or anything either. I mean, the first thing I would say is, like, in a game where you win, obviously there's gonna be less to pick on, but we can maybe, like, find the bigger flaws in your game because it's a game where you played well, so you're trying to figure out how to improve. I would just say for this that first round would just be, like, sometimes you did and sometimes you didn't, but, like, taking a different angle than the rest of your team, and by the rest of your team, like, you still want to, as Cassidy, you still want to be close to supports. You still want to be close to your supports because you don't have much mobility, but, like, a different angle than your Bastion for sure. Like, you could take the same angle as a support, like your music here or something, potentially. Alright, you're getting yeah. You were getting damage boosted. Yeah, let's go over here. See, is the Bastion on the right side? No, he's main. Now, they have a Roadhog, but my opinion is, now, it's too late now, okay? So, we need to jump across, first of all. We need to go take space. We need to go get map control. You might be, like, maybe you're, like, afraid of the Roadhog, like, potentially, which is fair. But, like, taking map control is really important. Like, right here, as soon as this Reaper fades, like, look, your hog has made all this space. Look how much space the hog has made, and look how much of it you have taken. Like, Now, obviously, we're afraid of the Roadhog hook, but that's why you have to predict the hook. Hook's not as easy to avoid if you know it's coming. You know, it's always the worst whenever you don't know it's coming. So, like, if you were playing right here, you take this angle, like, whenever your hog started pushing up, you know, you could take more space. You could kill this Reaper when he comes out of fade. You could help shoot the Roadhog, which I wouldn't necessarily advise doing, because that's just going to build the support's ultimates. But I do like how you haven't been shooting, just like spamming into the tank this game. But if you had taken the angle, you would have just killed that Reaper, and then you could have probably gotten out. But now you can't really take that angle because your hog hasn't made that space for you, and you're going to get hooked. I think he just... Oh, he hooked your hog. Nice way to finish the Reaper. Okay, so in this situation, we don't have a tank. We're either going to just back out and let them cap the point, or we're going to try... Okay, so y'all are in a losing scenario. So what has to happen for you to win a fight from a losing scenario? You're going to have to make a play. So whenever you're already probably going to lose a fight, now, without wasting any ultimates, of course, is when you want to try to make the most aggressive plays. So, like, if right here... Here, let's just back it up. Alright, your hog's dead, so now y'all are in a losing situation. You get a pick. Massive. Okay, you saw the Ana. I know you saw her. I saw you, like, hesitate. You know that everyone's over here, okay? You see the hog. Now... You do miss on the Wuyong, but now their bastions, they're all rotating your direction. In my opinion, look, you gotta pick. Y'all are in a losing scenario. Once you saw this Ana, like, the hog didn't even see you. Like, you could have rotated over here and potentially taken a support by surprise, 2-tapped 1, rolled, fanned, or flash fanned, and gotten 2. You could have gotten, like, 2 picks if you would hit a flank on a different angle rather than just sitting here, because the hog, like, he wasn't necessarily like, you know he was going to do this, but like, he was going to rotate with the rest of the team. The whole team was flowing in this direction, so if you could have caught them from surprise going this way, you know, it would have actually triggered the point being touched, so that might have been a problem. But once again, like, if you're in a losing fight, you're going to want to make a play. Because that's just, you know, otherwise you're not going to win. Now, your Bastion got 2. Wow, your Bastion got almost everybody. He almost won. Wow. So if you had hit that flank and killed 1 or 2 there and died... So, like, dying is not, like, necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes it's important to die. Sometimes it's good to die on point. Sometimes it's good to die to kill 2 people. Like, sometimes if you know you're on a low mobility character, like, you need to get in there, potentially get a couple people and die. Like, that's going to be big for your team. I was going to suggest going left here because Hog's not going to be able to hook you all the way over here. You're going to have to win this battle against this Reaper. I wouldn't be so scared. I mean, go fight. You have a fan the hammer. You have a flashbang. See. Okay, you picked that perk. Okay. That is a good perk. I feel like we're being very passive. I understand you're, like, scared of this Reaper over here, but, like, you do have a flashbang, but I guess you got rid of your fan the hammer. So, like, you're afraid that, like, you can't just flash fan. Nice. But, like, you caught him with his back turn, and your other Bastion helped you finish up on their Bastion. I will say that fight you did good by at least attacking a different angle and, like, being over there. I think their Reaper was kind of not playing super smart, to be honest with you. And their Bastion got cooked. But that you did good. I mean, holding a different angle. That's kind of what I was talking about the first fight. But right now, you know, you're kind of just standing around until your team is dead. And, you know, you always want to rotate in the Overwatch, like, you always want to rotate towards the action. There's no action over here. All the action is going on over here. And you even when you hear like ults going off over there and stuff, like, I understand staying over here at the start, but you're still over here. You're still over here. It was only here that you just, like, after you'd already lost 2 that you decided to rotate. Oh, and he decided to fight you? Oh, you should have won that. You might be able to get someone. Like, in this scenario, okay, alright. Now, your whole team is dead. You should run in there and just try to flash and kill someone. And just die. Okay, so if you were wondering why I said you should just flash and go in there and die, it's because now you have staggered yourself from their team, and now they're getting way more percent. Because now your team's going to be stuck in a 45 because you sat here for so long trying to get a pick and not die. When you were in a 4v1, you were probably going to die. You should have just gone on to point, flashed someone, and maybe taken someone with you, and died as fast as possible. This is why sometimes dying is the right move. And right there, it absolutely was. Like, in some cases, like, I would have just rolled off the map if I really, you know, didn't care that much. I mean, rolling off the map and doing nothing there would have been better than what you did, because now your entire team is all the way down there, and they don't have you. And you have an ultimate. So, in that case, you know, you're going to want to die. Now, if you could take someone with you, that would be massive. That'd be huge. Oof. Oh, no, so close. You did good, you did good. I mean, I mean, you did your best, honestly, there. You pulled up and you almost killed 2. Like, and you took that, the Bastion kind of pulled up out of nowhere, to be fair. You maybe could have, like, walked farther right to be more safe, but he would still have been there. So, I don't have too much to say there. Honestly, into their team comp, I would have kept the Fan the Hammer. Just for, now they don't have the Reaper, or they do have the Reaper still, just for the Bastion and the Reaper specifically. Because a full Fan the Hammer can kill both those characters. You can flash and stun the Reaper and Fan the Hammer and he can't live. Very nice, very nice. You caught him off guard, which is huge. Okay, yep, pop that ult. Oh, definitely don't pop the ult. Very nice, very nice. Way to live. Oh, you almost had him. You're doing good. I like how you went and took an aggressive angle, but you're playing the left side here. You're just doing good holding space. I mean, you did, like, this is still, like, really good, though, because you can hold this really long angle here with Cassidy that normally, you know, would be slightly more difficult to hold. Now, the problem is to be fair, like, your Bastion should be over there if you're over here, but he's not. And in this case, that's on him, because, like, he's the one closer to the middle, so I would completely blame that on him. Way to get a pick. How on earth how are you alive, sir? How are you alive? How are you alive? How did you live so long? Alright. I don't know if you don't have a headset. And I understand, you tried to take him with you thinking you were going to get killed by the hog. You tried really hard. But you were just like, there was nothing you could do. You lived, like, really long here. However, I would have shot at this Ana here instead of the hog, because you were never killing him. You could have maybe killed the Ana instead. But you might have, you know, heat of the moment, heat of the moment. So, okay, I'll lose that round. Okay, so for that round, we obviously had the moment where You gave them essentially a 4v5 fight. Because you decided not to die when dying is sometimes, you know, the right play. You know, if you're in an unwinnable situation, just go ahead and die so you can respawn with your team, you know. Stats don't matter in this game. People act like they do, and I love to look at stats, but they're not actually that important. But honestly, like, right here, we'll do a... I guess we'll do a stat check. But I mean, you did good getting eliminations there. I mean, I don't think you necessarily like deserve to lose that round. You didn't play bad at all. You missed a few kills you could have definitely gotten. But we both know that. That's okay. I don't expect you to be perfect. Go after this Bastion. Okay, y'all got him. Y'all got him. Okay, we... Not gonna lie, you just used your best ability, I guess you could call it. I don't know if Flash is better, but whatever. Into a full HP Roadhog who's not gonna die. You wasted it. And I understand mindlessly shooting the tank. It's something we all do. I've done it before too. You're still mindlessly shooting the tank. He's not gonna die, he's full HP. Your time to focus the tank as Cassidy is going to be if he is surrounded by 4 people. Nice. Okay. Finally, the Roadhog's out of the picture. He's fighting your tank. They're like equal battle. Let's go take this high ground up here that you've been probably wanting to take the whole round, and let's have a good angle. But you decided to come this way, which was worse. And even though you have that ability that does damage from so far away, Cassidy, like, this is not your range on Cassidy. This is not your range. You're too far away. And you're working your way forward. But this just isn't the best angle because it's also going to be harder to get away from the hog if he comes for you. Which he is right now. And now you're back to a spot where you're completely useless. Except for this one ability. But it still doesn't, like, you have to headshot for it to do anything. Whew, that was close. Nice. Way to get hurt. Oh, come on. You gotta go kill that Bastion. You have a flashbang. Even if you die, if you Alright, Hog misses his hook. You walk you're still on this cover here. You do great things, okay? Now, you have roll and you have flash. You hit him twice. He's crit. If you just throw your flashbang, he's dead. I think sometimes you're too afraid to die. But if you knew you just killed one person, and then you kill a second person, like, you did a great job. If you kill 2 people for your 1 life in a team fight, like, that's putting your team in a 3v4. And you still may not have died. And you might still die here. But now the Bastion's back at full health. But you do get him anyway. So, it worked out just fine. But it's different being greedy, going for kills in their backline, but he was in your backline, if you know what I'm saying. Did you just wave at him? Okay, once again, this is not a very high groundy map. You haven't really ever played the high ground that much. Like, you did one time on the other point where there was a high ground, but, like, this is your bread and butter over here. Like, this is where this map, this is where the map is held. Go take that space. This is, like, not the best. You can get attacked from here, here, and over here. Up there, you can only get attacked from right or left. And you diff their Cassidy, which is huge. You did get it, but, like, you got attacked from that angle. You just diffed him. You just had better aim. But he was out. I mean, you were out in the open. But you see, like, how you were out in the open. If he had been smart, he just would have barely peeked you, hit you. You know, if he hadn't missed, he could have rolled away. Mizuki was going to kill him, though. So he was dead regardless. But, like, we're doing a lot of walking around. Like, if you're ever just finding yourself trying to see where the enemy's going to come from, like, there you're just looking left, right, trying to see what's going to happen. That's being reactive. In this game, the best players are proactive. So, like, I would be going onto high ground and taking the aggressive angle. You know, I wouldn't be waiting to see what angle they come from, because that's how you get caught by surprise. It's like the difference between, like, bad Call of Duty players, like camp, and there's a time and place for that. It's typically, you know, not in a situation in a 5v5, but like in a 5v5 scenario. But like, there's a time to camp, but not typically, not right now. Nice. I will say it took for someone going up here for you to come up here, because you realized that they had taken this. This Wuyong took all this space on the map, this map pressure, for free. Like, that should not happen. But you should be able to kill him, hopefully. I mean, supports are hard to kill, but like, your Mercy, like, is not looking at you. And we got it, you know, we both know you're killing him. Thank you. Very nice. Good aim. Oh, wow, way to survive. Okay. Here, I'm gonna pull that up again. Alright. A strong finish in terms of aim. Your mechanics are good. Like, I can see why you're Plat. You know, you have good mechanics. Why are we on a different map than y'all actually were? So, basically, final. We'll look at stats. Stats aren't super important, but good aim. Once again, a few times, like, you're not using your flashbang. I don't like, if you flashbang him right here, he dies. I don't know. Sometimes you don't use your flashbang. I mean, once again though, I'm not trying to nitpick, but I mean, you played well. I mean, your Bastion's stats look crazy, but it's like Bastion's like Moira. His stats should be the highest in terms of damage numbers. That's just how he is. He probably was shooting into their Roadhog a lot, but it's just his job. If you're getting out and killing Squishy, so. All right, if I'm going to give 3 tips for this match, in terms of suggestions, it would be, the first one would be to take more have more map pressure, or take more map pressure, especially in a 5v5 scenario when the match is even. Like I said at the last bit here, like this whole top area, you know, your Bastion was already down there, especially like y'all just gave this Wuyong all of this for free, and he, you know, it took you a lot longer to deal with him, and a lot of fights would have ended by the time you like fought that Wuyong for so long, and a lot of fights would have been over, and he would have had a lot more value in that fight than you, if you know, a lot of higher ranked fights last way shorter than that. It probably just lasts so long because y'all have 2 Roadhogs, to be honest. But the aim was good. But yeah, more map pressure, taking high ground more often. You know, you took it basically never on this point. You never even walked up here, especially on Cassidy where you're mid-range. You know, you want to find the most optimal angle for your character. And in Cassidy, you wanted a mid-range, and I mean, high ground is always, almost always, not always, almost always going to be the correct answer. An answer where it may not would be the correct answer is be like, if they have like a Winston and you don't have anybody to help you and you're just going to get jumped on high ground. But like, in this scenario, that's not going to happen to you. If a Roadhog would have come after you, could have rolled off high ground. You know, that one time, it happened once, but that's like a whole fight that, you know, you weren't there for, because you staggered. That, you know, that's it. That is important to just sometimes, if your whole team dies, to die with your team. Overall, let's see. I mean, taking a different angle, you did good on that sometimes, and not as good sometimes. I will say, like, look, Cassidy's ult is not very good. It's, in my opinion, a bottom 5 ult in the game. well, sometimes like you would even if you had fan the hammer, use it for reload. So you can get a third fan the hammer on somebody. But I mean, you didn't really use your ult even ever to make space, except for one time when it was overtime and they had no chance. So I don't know if that's a normal thing where you don't use your ult very much. I understand it happens on Cassidy though, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. Well, I think you played. You said this was a good game of yours. Um, some games are harder to get as many tips out of than others, but yeah, I would definitely just say your positioning. And then sometimes you were too scared to go and get that final elimination. Sometimes you were like, you would have had the advantage if you had gone after them and you decided you wanted to live rather than get the pick. And trading with the other team is, not necessarily the correct answer unless you're already winning the fight. That's like if you're playing chess and, you know, you're easily winning against the other person, you would want to trade queens with them because you're still going to be winning. So if y'all are up a person, it's okay to trade with the other team. That's going to be a beneficial trade for your team. It's not all about surviving all the time. I would say it is in lower ranks, but in higher ranks, you want to do the best to win the game and win the team fight. So yeah, three things would be positioning, and high ground positioning, finding the best angle for your character, which is Cassidy. Um, I would say maybe ultimate usage. You didn't really use your ult very much, which is understandable. Uh, Cassidy's ult is bad. Um, Oh, and positioning in terms of having a different angle than the rest of your team, and being maybe more aggressive. I just think you should play more aggressive in general. I think that's the word I'm looking for because a lot of times you were playing reactive instead of playing proactive, waiting for them to do something. And yet, when that happened, you still played well and diffed them, but that doesn't always happen because if they get the jump on you, then oftentimes you might lose that fight. But this game, you won those fights, so good job. But yeah, I'd play more aggressive. Um, be careful though. On cast, you don't have a lot of movement, so when I say play aggressive, it means hold aggressive angles. Don't walk into their enemy team 1v5. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Well, thank you for sending in the VOD. I hope you found it informative. I think you played well. I think your aim is good. I think that if you just, I'm sure that your problem is consistency. Because like this was a really good game. I think your problem's probably consistency if I had to guess, but I think if you work on just some of these tips that I gave you, you could definitely probably hit diamond. I mean, you said you were high plat. I think your aim's good, and your game sense seems to be there for the most part. Sometimes you waste time. And don't play aggressive enough. So, all right, thank you.